Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a bracelet today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the July 2024 dollar bead box and dollar bead bag. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. I have a coupon code. It's THJ2, and I'll put it on the screen here and in the description box below, along with a link to the page to sign up for the subscription if you're interested. The coupon will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I showed this bracelet here in a finished jewelry video that I did a few videos back, and it's just a little right angle weave embellished bracelet. And I had a lady request that I do a video showing how to do it, so that's what I'm going to do today. I was waiting until I got some similar beads to the ones I used in this bracelet. I had these 8mm fire polish beads in my stash, which is what's down the center of this bracelet. But along the sides of the bracelet here are some 8mm druck beads, and I didn't have any of those. But there were some in the July 2024 dollar bead box. So that's what I'm going to use. These are the 8mm check glass druck beads that came in the box. Medium aqua blue is the color. These are some 3mm blue lilac iris beads that came in, fire polish beads that came in the dollar bead bag this time. And in this bracelet I used some 3mm bicones down the side, but you can use either bicones or fire polish beads. I'm going to use these fire polish beads today. And then these are some 8mm fire polish beads. I didn't have these labels, so I'm not sure exactly what the color is on them, but they're just a light blue color. I don't know what the color is on them. These are some 2mm fire polish beads that I had in my stash. The color on these is iris blue. I've got these here where I do my embellishment. You don't have to have the 2mm fire polish beads if you don't have any. You could use an 8/0 here. It will work fine, I think. I'm using my Miyuki 11/0 galvanized silver seed beads. I've got a toggle clasp, a couple of wire guardians. I've got 3 6mm jump rings and 1 4mm jump ring in there. And I've got a size 12 beading needle. Yeah, size 12 beading needle. And I'm using my 8-pound fire line and smoke. And I'll be using my scissors and my thread burner to cut and burn down my fire line, and my chain nose pliers and my bent chain nose pliers to open and close my jump rings when I get ready to put my clasp on. I think that's everything. I'll try to find links and put links to everything that I'm using that didn't come in the box. I'll put links to them in the description box below. So hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, I've got some of my beads out here now. I've got my 8mm druck beads and my 8mm fire polish beads and my 11/0s. And I've got my needle threaded, and I have a stop bead on here, and I'm just leaving about a 6-inch tail, just enough to put a needle on it and sew the tail in. I don't need to leave a big long tail to put my clasp on because I'm going to be coming up and down the bracelet several times. So like I said, this is just a right angle weave bracelet. So the left side of my right angle weave box is going to be an 11/0, an 8mm fire polish bead, and an 11/0. The top of my box is going to be a druck bead. And the right side of my box is going to be an 11/0, an 8mm fire polish bead, and an 11/0. And the bottom of my box is going to be an 8mm druck bead. I'll bring that all the way down here to my stop bead. So I'm going to go sew around all these beads again to reinforce my unit. Push these beads out of the way here. So that's what I've got now. Zoom in a little bit here. I'm just going to go back around all this again to tighten up my unit, because these beads are pretty big and you have to reinforce to get them to not be loose. I'm going to sew around till I get back around here to my stop bead. And then I'm going to sew around until I'm coming out this fire polish bead opposite my stop bead here, so that I can make my next unit. I'm going to go up my 11-0 and my fire polish bead and my 11-0. Now I'm going to make my next right angle weave unit. I've already got my left side. I've got my 11-0, my fire polish bead, and my 11-0. So I need a drop bead for the top, an 11-0, a fire polish bead, and an 11-0 for the right side, and a drop bead for the bottom. I'm coming out of that top 11-0. I'm going to go in this bottom 11-0 and up the fire polish bead and the 11-0. And that makes my next right angle weave unit. I'm going to sew around all this again to reinforce it. It's an awfully big bead for me to be having so much trouble getting my needle in there. Now I'm going to pull that tight, and I'm going to sew up my 11-0, my fire polish bead, and my 11-0. I'm not going to sew around this unit again like I did that first one. I need the first one to be nice and tight because it's my first unit. But if I sew around these too much and get them too tight, the bracelet will be stiff. The one I made is kind of stiff, so I'm going to try to make sure this one's not as stiff as that one is. So I'm coming out of this, I got a hold of my thread here. I'm coming out of that top 11. Now I'm going to make my next right angle weave unit. I've already got my left side, my 11-0, my fire polish bead, my 11-0. I need to pick up a drop bead for my top. And an 11-0, fire polish bead, and an 11-0 for my right side, and a drop bead for my bottom. So I'm coming out of the top of that 11-0. I'm going to go on the bottom of this 11-0 and go through the fire polish bead and the 11-0 that I'm coming out of. Pull my thread through. Now I'm going to sew around here till I'm coming out this 8mm fire polish bead again so that I can make my next unit. So go through the drop bead, up the 11-0, the fire polish bead, and the 11-0. So I'm just going to keep doing that, making these little right angle weave units until I use up all these beads. I've got 24 of the drop beads. There were 25 of them. I'm using 24 of them. And I think I have 13 of the fire polish beads. That's why I'm going to be putting a couple of extra jump rings on one end of my bracelet for one, I'm going to do it on the bar end because you usually have to put a little extra length on the bar end so it'll go through the loop side of the toggle. Plus I needed a little bit extra length because since I had 25 of the direct beads, but since I'm only using 24 of them, the bracelet was just going to be a little bit short without it. The one I made came to about 7.5 inches, which is what I usually make a bracelet. But of course, if you need a shorter bracelet, you don't have to put on the extra jump rings. But I'm going to keep doing this until I get all these beads used up, and then when I come back, we'll start on the embellishment down the center. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my beads used up here now. So I'm going to start on my embellishment, and since I didn't reinforce like I normally would, see my units are kind of loose and you can see some thread there. But as I go around and put these embellishments in, it's going to tighten it up, I hope. Like I said, I reinforced that first one, but I think that's what made it as stiff as it is. So I'm trying not to make this one stiff. So I'm coming out of this 11-0 here where I did my last right angle weave unit. And I've got my little 2mm fire polish beads out here now. So I'm going to pick up 4 11-0s. One of my little 2mm fire polish beads, and 4 more 11-0s. I'm coming out that 11-0 there. I'm going to go over here to the opposite corner and go in this 11-0, this fire polish bead, and this 11-0. Pull my embellishment over the top like that. Now I'm going to turn it around here so I can get to it better. Pick up 4 more 11-0s. And I'm going to go up the bottom of this 2mm fire polish bead. I hold my finger over it so it doesn't come loose. Now I'm pick up 4 more 11-0s. And I need to make the other part of my X here, so I'm going to go into this 11-0. Fire polish bead, and the 11-0 on the other side of the fire polish bead. And that gets my little embellishment on there, and it seems to be kind of loose, so I need to tighten it up. So now I'm going to sew down this direct bead, my 11-0 fire polish bead, and 11-0. Now I'm coming out of this 11-0. I'm going to make my embellishment over this unit, so I'm going to pick up 4 of my 11-0s. One of my 2mm fire polish beads, 4 more 11-0s. I'm coming out this 11-0 in this corner. I'm going to go in the 11-0 in this corner to put my embellishment on diagonally. Go in the 11-0. I can get my needle in there. The fire polish bead and the 11-0 on the other side of the fire polish bead. Now I need to make the rest of my little X here, so I'm going to pick up 4 more 11-ohs. I'm going to go up the bottom, through the bottom of this little 2mm fire polish bead. Hold my finger over it. I'll pull it tight. I need to make the rest of my X, so I need 4 more 11-ohs. So to make the rest of my X, I need to go in this 11-oh up here, fire polish bead, and the 11-oh on the other side of the fire polish bead. Make sure my embellishment lands over there like it's supposed to. So that gets that embellishment on. I'll do one more and then I'll leave y'all alone. I'm going to go down this truck bead. Across this 11-oh fire polish bead and the 11-oh on the other side of the fire polish bead to get in position to do my next embellishment. Now I'm going to pick up 4 11-ohs. One of my 2mm fire polish beads, and 4 more 11-ohs. I'm coming out of this 11-oh here. I'm going to go across diagonally and go into this 11-oh fire polish bead and 11-oh. Like that. Now I'm going to pick up 4 more 11-ohs. And I'm going to go up through the bottom of this 2mm fire polish bead. I'll hold my finger over it. Now I need to make the rest of my X, so I'm going to pick up 4 more 11-ohs. And I need to make the rest of my X, so I need to go into this 11-oh fire polish bead and the 11-oh on the other side of the fire polish bead. That makes that X. So I just need to sew down here to get in position to make my next embellishment. So I'm going to go down this truck bead, across this 11-oh fire polish and 11-oh. You can see that's tightening up my bracelet as I go. So I'm just going to keep doing this till I get all my embellishment down the center. And when I get to the other end, we'll put on one side of the wire guardian. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my embellishments on here now. So now I'm going to put on one side of my wire guardian. And I've got my little 3mm fire polish beads out now. So I'm coming out of this 11-oh where I put on my last embellishment here. I'm going to pick up 6 11-ohs. One of my 3mm fire polish beads and 1 more 11-oh. And I'm going to pick up my wire guardian. And I'm going to go around and go down the other channel of my wire guardian, back into the 11-oh under the wire guardian, the 3mm bead, and the 11-oh under the 3mm bead. Hold my finger over the wire guardian so the thread will land in the channel. Now I'm going to hold onto my wire guardian and pull the slack out of my thread there. Now I'm pick up 5 more 11/0s. And I'm going to come over here and go into this 11/0, the fire polish bead, and the 11/0 on the other side of the fire polish bead. That puts my, well, I need to get in frame, don't I? That puts my wire guardian on. Now I'm going to go back around all this again. I'm going to go up all 5 of these 11/0s and the 11/0 under the fire polish bead. I don't know if I can get them all at once. And you don't have to. Okay, now I'm going to go on up through the 3mm and the 11/0 on the other side of the 3mm bead. Go back around my wire guardian. Back into the 11/0 under the wire guardian. The 3mm bead. And the 11/0 under the 3mm bead. Hold my finger over the wire guardian. Now I'm going to go down the 5 11/0s on this side. I'm going to go back through this 11/0 fire polish bead and the 11/0 on the other side of the fire polish bead. So I'm going to go around all that one more time, and when I get done I'll come back and we'll put the embellishments down one side of the bracelet. So I'll be back. Okay, I finished going around my wire guardian one more time. And I'm coming out of this 11/0 where I came back through my 11/0 fire polish bead and 11/0. I'm going to sew down this truck bead. And now I'm just going to put one of these 3mm fire polish beads in between all these truck beads. Now you don't have to do that. You can be done here if you want to. Of course, if you wanted to not put the beads down the side, you would have needed to put your clasp on this end before you came back up with all your embellishments, because you won't be back down here unless, you know, of course you can always add in a thread and put your other wire guardian on. But I'm going to put these little 3mm fire polish beads down the sides here, and I'll look like I've got a thread caught here somewhere. I just didn't have it pulled tight enough. Okay. Now I'm going to just pick up a 3mm bead. And go into the truck bead. And I've got it flipped over to the back. It's just easier to not have to try to keep from getting hooked around all those embellishments. Now I'm just going to pick up another 3mm bead, go into the next truck bead. Pick up another 3mm bead, go into the next truck bead. That's going to get my truck beads down the sides there. Now when I get down to this end, I'm going to put on the wire guardian just like I did this end. And then I'm just going to sew over to the other side and put my 3mm truck beads between all these truck beads. 3mm fire polish beads. I don't know, I might have said 3mm truck beads. I'm getting confused. When I get all the way down here with this side, all the way back down here to this side, I'm going to put my wire guardian on just like I did this side. And then I should be in position here. If I'm not, I can sew over here and come back through this struck bead here and put my 3mm fire polish beads down this side. And then I'll be done. I'll just sew my threads in and tie 3 half-inch knots. And then when I come back, we'll put the findings on. So I'll be back. Okay, I thought I'd come back before I put my 3mm beads down this side and show you I've got them all down this one side. And I put my wire guardian on just like I did the first side. And I am coming out right here where I need to be to put in my 3mm beads. So I'm just going to sew down this struck bead. And I'm going to put my 3mm beads all the way down this side. And then when I come back, we'll put the findings on. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got my bracelet all done now. I just need to put my findings on here. And I usually do this off camera because y'all have seen me put findings on a bunch of times. But I'm going to put a few extra jump rings on one end. So I thought I would just go ahead and do it on camera. I'm going to take one of my 6mm jump rings and open it up and put it on here and put the loop of my toggle on and close my jump ring back really well. Now on this side, I'm going to use a 6mm jump ring. Put it on here. I was thinking for a moment I might actually get through that without dropping something, but never happens. I'm going to put that on here. And I'm going to put my little 4mm jump ring on here. And I'm going to close my jump ring back really well. I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring and figure out where the slit is in it. Actually, I don't think I need to worry about this. I want to make sure it was good and closed. Okay, it's not good and closed. I'm going to open it up. Close it back well. Now I'm going to take my other 6mm jump ring in case y'all are wondering why I'm switching pliers. I can handle these 6mm jump rings better with my heavier pliers, and I can handle the tiny little 4mm jump rings better with my smaller tweezer pliers. Now I'm going to put that onto my 4mm jump ring and put the bar of my toggle on here. Try not to drop it on this side like I did the first side. I'm going to close my jump ring back really well. And that gives a little extra room for my toggle bar to go through my clasp. Plus it adds a little bit of length to the bracelet because it was not hardly as long as I wanted it to be. So there's my bracelet all done. So hold on, I'll get some of my mess cleaned up here and I'll be back. Okay, there's my bracelet all done. I used a bigger clasp on this one, I guess, because this one came just a little bit bigger, longer than the other one I did. Came to about 7.5 inches, and this one's like 7 3/4. Yeah, it's about 7 3/4, close to 8. So I don't know. I might take off one of these jump rings. I kind of wanted to have extra jump rings down here anyway, though, to make sure my bar can go through the toggle easily. Because I think when I did that first one, I just put one jump ring on it, and I was having a hard time getting the bar through the toggle. And when you put an extra jump ring or two on your bar side, it makes it easier to get it through there, so you're not struggling when you're trying to put the bracelet on. And it did make a difference. This one's not nearly as stiff as that other one is, so resisting the urge to embellish as much as I usually like to embellish helped, because this one's not as stiff as that other one was. Like I said, if you all are not subscribed to the Dollar Bead Box or the Dollar Bead Bag and you decide you want to be, that coupon code will save you $2 off your first box if you sign up. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.